those of you who don't know me, I'm Jordan, Jesse's little brother, which I know can be a little bit confusing considering our height differences. And I know Jesse will tell you Brad Joker, so you have some company. Thank you, Justin. Your speech is beautiful. Help me give her a round of applause real quick. I'd also like to start by thanking the parents of the now Aaron Bach, Carol and Blaine Dibble, as well as my parents, Bill and Michelle, for raising these two amazing individuals. Thank you. I want to thank the bridesmaids and the groomsmen for having such an incredible impact on Jesse and Aaron's lives and helping them to become the people that they are today. Thank you. I also want to thank all of you, all the friends and family that came here to support Jesse and Aaron on such an important day. Thank all of you.
Oh, yeah.
Now, a wedding symbolizes a lot of things, and one of those is families coming together. And Jesse and Aaron have done an amazing job at bringing the Buck and the Dibble families together. In fact, this past week we were all on vacation together down in the Outer Banks, like Justine kind of mentioned. It's a Dibble family tradition. And thank you, and we're honored for you to be so gracious to include us in that tradition for the past 2 years. And I want to say it's just so wonderful to see two families come together and enjoy each other's company the way that we have. Thank you very much. So many of you know how competitive Jesse is. And how this guy's just going to win at absolutely everything. In fact, and Manny, you got to see this firsthand on the first day of vacation in the Outer Banks when Jesse and I played you two in spike ball, and he refused to quit until we would win a game. Well, we ended up being on the beach until after everyone else had left, because we never won a game that day. In fact, we had to force him to quit. But the only thing that was on Jesse's mind after we forced him to stop was talking to me about strategies on how we could come back and beat you too. And you know what? Over the next few days, we did get a couple wins, and I think by the end of that vacation, we pulled it back to all square. Now, if you think that's bad, you can only imagine how competitive things get between us as brothers. And I tell you what, I definitely contribute to that as well. We've always got to best each other in whatever we're doing, be it sports, games, or even arguments. Which is why, let me tell you, it is such an honor for me today for Jesse to finally admit that yes, I am the best man. It's a big man to admit something like that. Jesse and I, we've had an incredible relationship all our lives. We've been so close and practically inseparable. I think a good example of this is as we were growing up, my parents really tried to give us everything we could ever want. We each had our own separate bedrooms. They got us, these awesome matching loft beds. They gave us TVs and computers so we could play games. We could have our own lives, but I tell you what, I don't think I can remember a single night where I slept in my own room until Jesse went to college. Because instead, I would sleep in his room on his couch that was too small for me to even lay completely out on my feet hanging out the end. And that's because we were so close. We wanted to spend every moment together. And we would watch TV shows, we would talk about anything and everything until we finally went to sleep. And looking back, I don't think I can ever remember a good night's sleep as I got those nights, knowing that my big brother was right there if I ever needed him.
Wow. Come on. That's good.
Now, of course, that's not counting the nights that he would accidentally drop a remote from his loft bed down on my face, which happened a little bit too often after we would have arguments, so I'm not sure I said that very much. But no. that's just a representation of who my brother is. He's always been there for me, and he still is to this day. Whether it was sleeping right above me when we were kids, to a phone call away when we were in college, to right now when he lives right around the block. Now Jesse is 5 years older than me, which means, yeah, I've been hurt plenty of times when I had to be his unwilling wrestling partner. And I believe him every time he tells me, hey, I'm not going to hurt you this time. He even convinced me to jump off our tree fort with a pillowcase saying, hey, this is going to work just like a parachute. And you know, I love you so much, I'll be right behind you, but you can go first. I even almost got blown up a few times when we had firework and Roman candle fights in the backyard when Mom and Dad were at work during the summer. But I've always looked up to Jesse as a role model and a hero in my eyes. And I've been able to learn so much from you. A lot of things that I should do, and definitely a couple things I should. He would always include me in absolutely everything he did, even if it wasn't necessarily convenient for him. He'd let me hang out with him and his friends, even though they were far older than me. He would also try and teach me any new skills or anything that he learned, and always keep me included when he had new hobbies, because he wanted to give me everything. And I wanted to be just like Jesse. And who could blame me? You were always the more athletic one, so I started doing sports in high school because of you. I wanted to be more like you. I started lifting after high school to get bigger and stronger, like my big brother. When I was deciding my education, I went to BCC and now Binghamton because of you. And when it came to work, didn't stop there. Olive Garden was one of your first jobs. So I had worked at Olive Garden too, and you had my first interview. You found the love of your life at Olive Garden. I followed suit. We spent many nights and days renovating apartments together. While I will admit we may have put more effort into avoiding work than actually getting work done. And even now today, we find ourselves working together at a journey where we definitely don't avoid getting work done. We got the boss now, so I have to listen. But no, your work ethic is honestly one of the strongest I've ever seen. And that's what's allowed you to establish such an amazing life and career as a real estate agent, a coach, a leader in our community, and you always take on every opportunity that comes at you. So I'm so proud of you and all that you've done. I've talked a little bit about how competitive Jesse is and how he strives for perfection in everything that he does. And that leads me to you, Aaron. Because Jesse truly has found the perfect girl. You are so kind, smart, compassionate, hardworking, and beautiful. And I tell you, I can't believe I'm saying this, you might have a family that's just about as crazy as ours. You've always been there for me and really helped me through some rough times. You always picked up the phone when any of us would call. And you never even hesitated to roll up your sleeves and help my family out on a project that we're way too far behind on. I can truly say I am proud and honored to be gaining you as a sister today. Now, Jesse and I, like I touched on, we're pretty inseparable. And, well, you know, I could go on and I could tell you guys plenty of embarrassing stories about, you know, that contain a lot of stupidity. Which, between Jesse and I, we've got plenty of content there. But I'd rather focus on the smart moves that you've made in life. Your friendships, the relationships that you have with your family, your career, they're all an example of the amazing man that he's become. But Jesse, the smartest move that you've ever made is marrying you. So I'd like to make a toast to the best decision that Jesse has ever made. And I'd like to raise a glass to say, I wish you both a long way of love, happiness, and success. Thank you very much.